the biggest influence, without any doubt at all, in my life as a singer of songs in the Irish and Irish-American tradition was the late Frank Harte. Frank Harte was a Dublin man through and through, born in Dublin and died in Dublin. He died in 2005, 15 years ago, at the age of 72, and left an extraordinary legacy of songs of all kinds. I met him first in Dublin when I arrived there at the age of 18 to go to University College Dublin, and I got very involved in the folk music movement that was really taking great pace in Dublin at that time. Kind of a neglected and forgotten part of our national heritage suddenly had attained a new respectability, a lot of it due to the success of the Clancy brothers in America singing our old songs. And foremost in that wonderful renaissance of pride in our national heritage in Dublin was Frank Harte. He sang songs from just about every aspect of every tradition in Ireland, but he was known, perhaps a little inaccurately, as primarily a singer of Dublin songs. He loved to be known as that, but he was much more than that. But he did specialise in the Dublin songs whenever he could. And there's a certain style in Dublin songs that's different than any other part of Ireland. The accent is different, of course, in Dublin, and the turns of phrase in Dublin song are different than other parts of the country. And Frank glorified in singing great Dublin songs like, say, The Spanish Lady, which I'm going to sing today for you. And I learned it from Frank when I was a member of the group The Johnstons in Dublin in the mid-1960s. And we were looking for new songs all the time. And we beat a path to Frank's door, and he was unfailingly generous. When he died 15 years ago, I was in Ho Chi Minh City, and I went back to his funeral. And outside the church, I met Christy Moore, the great Kildare singer, and Christy said to me, "Who are we going to call now?" And what he was referring to was the fact that Frank was not just a great authority on the songs themselves, but he seemed to know everything about the background of the songs, the various melodies to which they were sung, which singers specialised in them, and so on. And we were so used to calling up Frank, when we needed to write liner notes, say for a CD or before that for an LP, that it seemed like an impossible chasm was created in the national culture by his passing. Well, happily, there's a festival in his honour that takes place every year, and his legacy is very well documented by this extraordinary book edited by Terry Moylan of the songs. It's a huge book, the songs that Frank was associated with. It's a magnificent book, and it's called A Living Voice, the Frank Harte collection. I'd recommend it to any of you out there watching this. Frank left a great legacy of songs, and the song I'm going to sing that I associate with his memory is The Spanish Lady. And like all Dublin songs, it's full of allusions that perhaps would be a little puzzling to people today. They need to be, in a sense, deconstructed. There's one particular verse I love in this song. "She's no mot for a poddle swally, with her ivory comb and her mantle so fine, but she'd make a wife for the provost marshal, drunk on brandy and claret wine." Well, the Spanish Lady is most probably a lady of the evening in Dublin, mysterious sort of a character. She's no mot. A mot is the Dublin expression for girlfriend. It means something a little ruder in the north of England. We won't get into that. "She's no mot for a poddle swaddy." The River Poddle, which is now mostly underground, it provided water for a lot of the industrial trades in Dublin in the 18th and 19th century, and indeed water for the people who worked in working class Dublin. It's now mostly culverted, and it does appear overground a little bit. And in fact, Lucy Johnston was going to be singing this song with me. Lucy is very much involved in the preservation movements of the Poddle River in those parts where it does come overground. So she's no mot for a poddle swaddy. A swaddy is a private in the army. It's a Dublin expression, often known as squaddy in England. So she's no mot for a poddle squaddy or swaddy. That's what that means. And there's a lovely lyrical feel to the song itself. The Johnstons, we used to sing it with 4-part harmony, often clustered around one microphone like the bluegrass groups of the past. And I've very fond memories of singing this song, and very fond memories indeed of Frank Harte. Singing the song with me will be Lucy Johnston. We're back together singing again after a 51-year hiatus, and why not? And Brenda Castles, who gets very indignant if you say she's from Dublin. She's actually from County Meath, but she lives in Dublin. Great concertina player and singer. And also a real dub, John Doyle, whom I met in America, in fact, and have been playing music a lot with over the years. And we've produced CDs together, and we've done so many gigs over the years, I can't even count them. And he's joining me in North Carolina for The Spanish Lady.
As I walked out through Dublin city at the hour of 12 of the night, who should I spy but the Spanish lady washing her feet by the candlelight? First she washed them, then she dried them over a fire of angry coal. And in all me life I ne'er did see a maid so neat about the soul. Whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay, whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay. I stopped to look, but the watchman saw me. Look here, young fella, now the hour is late. Off with you now, or I will wrestle you straightway through the Bridewell gate. I blew a kiss to the Spanish lady, hot as a fire of angry coal. In all me life I ne'er did see a maid so neat since I did roam. Whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay, whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay. Now she's no mock for a pottle swatty, with her ivory comb and her mantle so fine, but she'd make a wife for the provost marshal, drunk on brandy and claret wine. I got a look from the Spanish lady, cold as a fire of ashy coal. In all me life I ne'er did see a maid so neat about the soul. Whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay, whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay. The dawn of day was o'er. Who should I spy but a Spanish lady? I was weary and footsore. She had a heart so filled with loving, and her love she longed to share. In all me life I ne'er did see a maid that had so much to spare. Whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay, whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay. I wandered north and I wandered south, by Stony Batter and Patrick's Close, up and around by the Busker Diamond, and back by Never Tandy's house. Old age has laid her hand on me, cold as a fire of ashy coal. But where is the lovely Spanish lady, neat and sweet about the soul? Whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the tooraloo lay, whack for the tooraloo laddie, whack for the troubadour